Dr. Elena Rodriguez rubbed her tired eyes and looked at the computer screen again. The numbers could not be real. She had been working at the Deep Space Monitor in Chile for 15 years, and she had never seen anything like this. "Computer, run the scan again," she said into her headset. The massive radio telescope moved slowly across the dark sky. Elena waited as the computer processed the data. The results came back the same. Her heart started beating faster. There were objects in space. Big objects. And they were moving toward Earth. Elena called her assistant, Tom Bradley. "Tom, you need to come here right now. Bring coffee. We are going to be here all night." Tom arrived 10 minutes later with 2 cups of hot coffee. He was a young man who had just finished college. His job was to help Elena with the boring parts of watching space. "What is so important that you called me at midnight?" Tom asked. Elena pointed at her screen. "Look at this data. Tell me what you see." Tom studied the numbers and graphs. His face went pale. "These readings show multiple objects. Very large objects. Are they asteroids?" "No," Elena said. "Asteroids do not move in perfect formation. These objects are in organized groups. They are following the same path. And Tom, they are heading straight for Earth." Elena typed commands into her computer. A 3D image appeared on the large wall screen. It showed the solar system with small dots moving between the outer planets. "How many objects are there?" Tom asked. The computer counts 547 separate objects. The smallest ones are about the size of a football field. The largest ones are bigger than any building on Earth. Tom sat down hard in his chair. "Elena, are you saying what I think you are saying?" "I am saying we are looking at spaceships. Alien spaceships. And there are more than 500 of them coming toward Earth." Elena picked up her secure phone. She had to call her boss, Director James Walsh, who worked for the International Space Agency. "Director Walsh, this is Elena Rodriguez at the Chile Array. I need to report a code red situation." "Elena, it is midnight. This better be important." "Sir, we have detected a large fleet of unknown objects approaching Earth. The objects appear to be artificial and are traveling in formation." There was silence on the phone for several seconds. "Elena, are you telling me you have found alien spaceships?" "Yes, sir. That is exactly what I am telling you. Do not leave your station. Do not talk to anyone else about this. I will be there in 4 hours with a team." Elena hung up the phone and turned to Tom. "We need to gather as much data as possible before they arrive." For the next 3 hours, Elena and Tom worked without stopping. They tracked the alien fleet as it moved through space. The ships were traveling faster than anything humans had ever built, but they were not using rockets or any propulsion system that Elena could understand. "Look at this," Tom said, pointing to his screen. "The ships are not producing any heat signature, no exhaust, no energy trail. How are they moving so fast?" Elena studied the data. "The gravitational readings are strange. It looks like they are bending space around them. This technology is hundreds of years ahead of anything we have." At 4 a.m., Director Walsh arrived with a team of scientists and military officers. Elena had never seen so many serious faces in her small control room. "Show us what you have found," Director Walsh said. Elena presented her data on the main screen. The room fell silent as everyone stared at the image of the alien fleet. Colonel Robert Hayes, a tall man in military uniform, spoke first. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At their current speed, they will arrive in 72 hours, Elena answered. "Have they responded to any communication attempts?" asked Dr. Sarah Kim, a specialist in radio signals. "We have been sending messages on all frequencies for the past 4 hours. Radio, microwave, laser signals. Nothing. They are completely silent." Colonel Hayes turned to Director Walsh. "Sir, I need to contact the Pentagon immediately." "The President Needs to know about this. Do it, Walsh said. Elena, I want you to monitor these ships every second. Any change in their course or speed, you report it immediately. As the sun rose over Chile, the news began to spread. Within hours, every government on Earth knew about the alien fleet. Military bases around the world went to high alert. The stock markets crashed before they could even open. Alina watched the news on her computer. World leaders were holding emergency meetings. The United Nations called for an immediate session. Religious leaders spoke about the end times. People in major cities began leaving for the countryside. Elena, look at this, Tom said. He had been analyzing the ship structure using the array's most powerful sensors. The main screen showed a detailed image of one of the larger alien vessels. It was dark gray and shaped like a giant triangle. Strange patterns covered its surface, and it had no visible windows or doors. The hull appears to be made of an unknown metal, Tom explained. The computer cannot identify the material. And look at the size comparison. A small dot appeared next to the alien ship. The label read, International Space Station. The alien ship is 20 times larger than our biggest space station. Elena said quietly. Colonel Hayes received a call on his secure phone. After talking for several minutes, he turned to the group. The President has declared a global emergency. All military forces are being prepared for possible combat. NASA is launching every satellite we have to track these ships. Elena felt sick to her stomach. Colonel, our weapons cannot possibly hurt ships this advanced. If they wanted to destroy us, they would have done it already. Maybe they want to talk, Dr. Kim suggested. Maybe they are just as curious about us as we are about them. Or maybe they are studying us before they attack, Colonel Hayes replied. Director Walsh looked at Elena. Keep trying to communicate with them. Use every method we have. Music, mathematics, pictures. Try everything. For the next 24 hours, Elena and her team sent thousands of messages toward the alien fleet. They transmitted the periodic table, prime numbers, pictures of Earth, and recordings of human music. They sent messages in every human language and even tried simple mathematical concepts. The alien ships remained completely silent. News. Reporters gathered outside the deep space array. Elena could see them through her window, but security officers kept them away from the building. The entire world was watching and waiting. Elena had not slept in 30 hours, but she could not rest. The alien fleet was now visible through large telescopes. Amateur astronomers around the world posted pictures on the internet. The ships looked like dark stars moving slowly across the sky. They are passing Jupiter now, Tom reported. Still maintaining course toward Earth. Still no communication. Elena stared at the tracking screen. In less than 48 hours, humanity would meet its first visitors from another world. She just hoped that both species would survive the encounter. General Marcus Stone stood in the war room deep beneath the Pentagon. Red lights flashed on every screen around him. Maps of the world showed military positions in every country. Phone calls came in every few seconds from world leaders who wanted answers he did not have. General, the Chinese premier is on line 3, said Major Lisa Park, his chief assistant. Tell him the same thing I told everyone else. We are working together now. No more borders, no more politics. Just humanity, Stone replied. The alien fleet had been traveling for 24 hours since Elena Rodriguez first detected them. In 48 more hours, they would reach Earth. Stone had been put in charge of the combined military forces of every nation on the planet. It was the first time in human history that all armies worked together. What is our status report? Stone asked Colonel Hayes, who had just returned from Chile. Sir, we have 150 nuclear submarines positioned around the Pacific Ocean. The Russians have moved their entire Arctic fleet south. Every nuclear weapon on Earth is being prepared for launch. Stone looked at the main screen. It showed all of Earth's military positions. Ships, planes, tanks, and soldiers were moving to defend their home planet. "How many nuclear weapons do we have ready?" Stone asked. "Over 13,000 warheads, sir. Every country has agreed to use everything they have." Major Park interrupted their conversation. "General, Dr. Rodriguez is calling from Chile. She says it is urgent." Stone picked up the secure phone. "Dr. Rodriguez, what do you have for me?" "General, we have been studying the alien ships for the past day. Their technology is far beyond anything we understand. They are using some kind of gravity control to move through space. What does that mean for our weapons?" "Sir, our missiles and bullets work by hitting targets with force. But if these aliens can control gravity, they might be able to push our weapons away from their ships." Stone felt his stomach drop. "Are you telling me our weapons might not work?" I'm saying we do not know, sir. This technology is completely new to us." Stone hung up the phone and turned to his officers. "We need backup plans. What other options do we have?" Colonel Hayes opened a folder. "Sir, we have been working with NASA and the European Space Agency. We are preparing to launch every rocket we have. If we cannot hurt their ships, maybe we can ram our spacecraft into them." "That sounds like a suicide mission," Major Park said. "Everything we do right now is a suicide mission," Stone replied. "How many rockets can we launch?" 17, sir. Including the space station, we can put 23 spacecraft between Earth and the alien fleet." Stone walked to the world map on the wall. Red pins showed the location of every military base. Blue pins showed major cities where people were being evacuated. "How is the evacuation going?" he asked. "Not well, sir," Major Park answered. "There are too many people and not enough time. We have moved about 100 million people away from major cities, but there are still billions of people who cannot leave." Stone picked up another phone and called the president. "Mr. President, this is Stone. I need to give you an update." "Go ahead, General." "Sir, we have done everything we can to prepare for battle. Every weapon is ready. Every soldier is in position. But I have to be honest with you. If these aliens want to destroy us, they probably can. What are you recommending, General?" "Sir, I think we should keep trying to talk to them. Dr. Rodriguez and her team are still sending messages. Maybe these aliens do not want to fight." "General, I have 200 world leaders asking me the same question. Are we going to win or lose?" "Mr. President, I do not know. But I promise you that humanity will not give up without a fight." Stone hung up the phone and looked around the war room. Officers were working at dozens of computers. Maps and charts covered every wall. This room had been built to fight wars between countries. Now it was being used to defend the entire human race. "General, we have an update from the Deep Space Array," Colonel Hayes announced. The main screen changed to show Alana Rodriguez calling from Chile. "General, the alien fleet is now passing Saturn. We have gotten a better look at their formation." The screen showed a computer image of the alien ships. They were arranged in groups with the largest ships in the center and smaller ships surrounding them. "It looks like a military formation," Stone observed. "Yes, sir. The computer analysis suggests this is a battle fleet. The way they are positioned is designed for combat." Major Park stepped forward. "Dr. Rodriguez, have they changed course at all?" "No, Major. They are still heading directly for Earth. No change in speed or direction." Stone studied the alien formation. He had seen similar patterns in naval battles. The large ships were probably carrying the main weapons. The smaller ships were likely scouts and fighters. "Dr. Rodriguez, what is your best estimate of their firepower?" "General, based on the size of their ships, they could carry weapons that we cannot even imagine. Each of their large ships is bigger than our aircraft carriers." Stone turned to his staff. "I want every observatory on Earth watching these ships. Any change in their behavior, I want to know immediately. For the next 12 hours, Stone coordinated the largest military operation in human history. Soldiers in Africa worked with troops in Asia. Ships from enemy countries sailed side by side. Fighter pilots who had been enemies the week before now flew together to defend Earth. "General, we are getting reports from around the world," Major Park said. "People are gathering in churches, mosques, and temples. Religious leaders are calling for peace." "What about the scientists?" "Sir, they are split. Some think the aliens are peaceful explorers. Others believe they are planning an invasion." Stone looked at his watch. 36 hours until the aliens reached. "Earth, Colonel Hayes, what is the status of our space-based weapons?" "Sir, we have moved every armed satellite into position. We also have laser weapons on the moon base that might be able to hit their ships." "How long can we fight?" "General, if we use everything we have, we might be able to fight for 6 hours. After that, we will be out of weapons." Stone walked to the window of the war room. Even though they were underground, he could see a small screen that showed the sky above Washington, D.C. Somewhere up there, an alien fleet was coming to decide the future of humanity. "Sir, we are receiving a message from the International Space Station," an officer announced. The main screen showed Commander David Kim floating in the space station. "General Stone, we can see the alien fleet with our telescopes now. They look like moving stars. It is both beautiful and terrifying. Commander, are you ready to fight if necessary?" "Sir, we have turned the space station into a weapon. We are ready to ram it into their ships if we have to." Stone nodded. "Let us hope it does not come to that." The war room fell quiet as everyone stared at the screens. In 36 hours, they would know if humanity had a future. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stared at her computer screen in complete shock. She blinked hard and looked again. The numbers on her screen made no sense at all. "Tom, come here right now," she called to her assistant. Tom Bradley rushed over from his workstation. "What is it, Elena? Are the aliens changing course?" "Tom, look at the screen. Tell me what you see." Tom studied the display for several seconds. His face turned white. "Elena, this cannot be right. The screen shows nothing. Where are the alien ships?" Elena's hands shook as she typed commands into her computer. "Run a full system diagnostic. Check every sensor. Check every telescope. Something is wrong with our equipment." "Running diagnostics now," Tom said. Typing quickly on his keyboard. Elena picked up her secure phone and called General Stone at the Pentagon. "General, this is Dr. Rodriguez. We have a problem." "What kind of problem, Doctor?" "Sir, we have lost contact with the alien fleet. All 547 ships have disappeared from our sensors." There was silence on the phone for 10 seconds. "Dr. Rodriguez, what do you mean they disappeared?" "Ships that size do not just disappear. General, I am looking at empty space. 20 minutes ago, the fleet was crossing the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Now, there is nothing there." "Are your instruments malfunctioning?" "We are checking everything now, sir. But I have never seen a system failure like this." Elena heard General Stone talking to someone else in the background. Then he came back on the phone. "Doctor, I am contacting every observatory on Earth. If your equipment is broken, someone else will still be tracking them." Elena hung up the phone and turned to Tom. "What did the diagnostics show?" "All systems are working perfectly. Every telescope is functioning normally. Elena, our equipment is not broken." Elena felt sick to her stomach. "Then where are 547 alien spaceships?" Her phone rang again. It was Director Walsh calling from the International Space Agency headquarters. "Elena, I just got off the phone with observatories in Australia, Japan, and Hawaii. They are all reporting the same thing. The alien fleet is gone." "Gone how? Did they change course? Are they moving away from us?" "Elena, they are not moving anywhere. They are simply not there anymore. It is like they never existed. Elena sat down hard in her chair. Director, this is impossible. Objects that large cannot just vanish from space. I know it is impossible, but it happened. I need you to focus all your instruments on the area where they were last seen. Look for any traces, any evidence of what happened. Elena and Tom worked. For the next 3 hours, they pointed every telescope and sensor at the empty space where the alien fleet had been. They found nothing. Elena, look at this, Tom said, pointing to his screen. I am picking up some strange readings from that area. What kind of readings? Gravitational disturbances, very small ones. And there are traces of unknown particles in space. Elena studied the data. These particles are not from anything in our solar system, but there are so few of them. It is like someone left tiny breadcrumbs behind. At the Pentagon, General Stone was dealing with chaos. Every military leader on Earth was calling for answers he did not have. General, the Chinese admiral wants to know if this is some kind of trick, Major Park reported. Tell him it is not a trick. Our enemies are gone, and we do not know where they went. Colonel Hayes entered the war room with a folder full of reports. Sir, we have confirmation from 23 different observatories around the world. The alien fleet has completely vanished. What about our satellites? What about the space station? Sir, Commander Kim on the space station confirms it. He was watching the fleet through the station's telescopes when they disappeared. He says it happened in less than 1 second. General Stone called Commander Kim directly. Commander, describe exactly what you saw. General, I was looking at the alien ships through our best telescope. They were in perfect formation, just like they had been for days. Then there was a brief flash of light, and they were gone. All of them, at the same time. What kind of flash? Sir, it was not like an explosion. It was more like someone turned off a light switch. One moment they were there, the next moment they were not. General Stone hung up the phone and looked around the war room. Every screen still showed Earth's military forces in position. Thousands of nuclear weapons were still aimed at empty space. Major Park, what is the status of our forces? Sir, everyone is asking the same question. Do we stand down? Do we keep fighting an enemy that is not there? Keep everyone in position for now. This could be some kind of advanced cloaking technology. Back in Chile, Elena was getting more strange readings from her instruments. Tom, these particle traces are very interesting. They do not match any known element. Could they be from the alien ships? Maybe. But Elena, look at this gravitational data. The readings show that space itself was bent in that area. Elena studied the numbers. Bent how? It is like someone folded space like a piece of paper. But that is impossible with our current understanding of physics. Elena called Dr. Sarah Kim, the radio signal specialist who had been helping track the aliens. Sarah, have you detected any radio signals from the area where the fleet disappeared? Elena, that is the strange part. We are not getting any radio signals at all. But we are detecting something else. What? Dimensional echoes. Our most sensitive. Equipment is picking up traces of energy that should not exist in our reality. Elena felt confused. What do you mean, our reality? Elena, the readings suggest that the alien ships did not move to another location. They moved to another dimension. Elena dropped her phone. She picked it up quickly. Sarah, are you saying the aliens went to a parallel universe? Elena, I know it sounds crazy, but the evidence points to dimensional travel. The ships did not disappear. They shifted to a different level of reality. Elena hung up the phone and stared at her computer screen. For 3 days, humanity had prepared for war with an alien fleet. Now the fleet was gone, and she was learning that there might be other dimensions of reality. Tom, call General Stone. Tell him we might have been visited by travelers from another dimension. Elena, do you really believe that? Tom, I do not know what to believe anymore. But the evidence does not lie. Those ships did not just disappear. They went somewhere. And that somewhere might be a place we cannot even imagine. Elena looked out the window at the night sky. Somewhere out there, 547 alien ships had vanished into a reality that humans did not understand. The question was not where they went. The question was whether they would come back. General Stone received Elena's report and read it 3 times. Dimensional travel, parallel universes, technologies that bent space and time. Major Park, what do we do with information like this? Sir, I think we need to start asking different questions. Not where the aliens went, but how they got there, and what it means for humanity. General Stone looked at the world map covered in military positions. All those weapons, all those soldiers, all that preparation for a war that never happened. Stand down all forces. The immediate threat is over. Sir, what do we tell the world? We tell them the truth. The aliens are gone. We do not know where. And we have a lot to learn about the universe we live in. 3 weeks after the alien fleet vanished, Commander Lisa Park stood in the mission control room at NASA headquarters. She had been chosen to lead the most important space mission in human history. Her job was to travel to the exact spot where 547 alien ships had disappeared. Commander, the probe is ready for launch, said Dr. Michael Foster, the chief engineer for the project. Lisa looked at the massive rocket on the launch pad through the control room window. Inside that rocket was humanity's most advanced deep space probe. It was packed with sensors, cameras, and scientific instruments that had never been used before. What is our mission timeline? Lisa asked. The probe will reach the target area in 72 hours. It will spend 1 week collecting data from the space where the alien fleet vanished. Lisa had been an astronaut for 12 years. She had flown to the International Space Station 4 times. But this mission was different. This time, she was not going to space herself. She was sending a robot to investigate the biggest mystery in human history. Dr. Foster, remind me what instruments we have on the probe. Commander, we have gravitational sensors that can detect the smallest changes in space. We have particle collectors that can gather microscopic evidence. We also have cameras that can see in 17 different types of light. Lisa nodded. And the communication system? We will have real-time contact with the probe. Everything it sees, we will see immediately. At the Deep Space Array in Chile, Dr. Elena Rodriguez was preparing to support the mission. She had not slept well for 3 weeks. Every night, she dreamed about 547 alien ships vanishing into nothing. Elena, the NASA probe is launching in 1 hour, Tom Bradley said. Are our telescopes ready to track it? Yes, Tom. We will monitor the probe from the moment it leaves Earth until it reaches the target area. Elena looked at her computer screen. For 3 weeks, she had studied the area where the aliens disappeared. She had found strange particle traces and gravitational disturbances. But she still had no idea what had happened to the ships. Tom, do you think we will find anything? I do not know, Elena, but this probe has technology that we did not have 3 weeks ago. Maybe it can see things that we missed. The NASA rocket launched perfectly. Lisa watched from mission control as the probe began its journey toward Mars. The rocket carried the probe away from Earth's gravity and into deep space. Probe separation successful, Dr. Foster announced. The probe is now traveling independently toward the target coordinates. Lisa picked up her communication headset. Probe control, this is Mission Command. Please confirm all systems are working. Mission Command, this is Probe Control. All systems are green. Gravitational sensors are active. Particle collectors are ready. Cameras are online. For the next 3 days, Lisa and her team watched the probe travel through space. It passed the moon, then moved beyond Earth's orbit toward Mars. "Commander, we are approaching the target area," Dr. Foster reported. Lisa felt her heart beat faster. In a few minutes, they would begin investigating the greatest mystery in human history. Probe control, begin scanning the target area. Use all sensors. Copy, mission command. Beginning full spectrum scan now. The main screen in mission control lit up with data. Numbers, graphs, and images appeared as the probe's instruments examined the empty space where the alien fleet had been. "Commander, look at this," Dr. Foster said, pointing to his screen. "The gravitational readings are strange." Lisa studied the data. "What do you mean strange?" "The probe is detecting gravitational waves that should not exist. It is like space itself is still moving from some kind of disturbance." "How is that possible? The aliens disappeared 3 weeks ago." "Commander, according to these readings, the gravitational disturbance is still happening. Whatever the aliens did to space, it is not finished yet." In Chile, Elena Rodriguez was watching the same data on her screens. "Tom, these gravitational readings match the theoretical models for dimensional rifts," she said. "Dimensional rifts? Elena, what does that mean?" "Tom, imagine that space is like a piece of cloth. Now imagine someone cut a hole in that cloth. That hole would be a dimensional rift." "Are you saying the aliens cut a hole in space?" "Tom, that is exactly what I am saying. And according to this data, the hole is still there." Elena picked up her secure phone and called NASA Mission Control. "Commander Park, this is Dr. Rodriguez. I am seeing the same data you are seeing. We need to be very careful with this probe." "Dr. Rodriguez, what are you worried about?" "Commander, if there really is a dimensional rift in that area, the probe could be pulled into it. We could lose our only chance to understand what happened." Lisa looked at the data streaming from the probe. The gravitational readings were getting stronger as the probe moved closer to the center of the target area. "Dr. Foster, can we keep the probe at a safe distance?" "Commander, we are already 50,000 kilometers away from where the aliens disappeared. But the gravitational field is much larger than we expected." "Probe control, report your status." "Mission command, all systems are still working, but we are detecting something new. The particle collectors are finding traces of exotic matter." Lisa had never heard of exotic matter. "Probe control, what is exotic matter?" "Commander, exotic matter is a theoretical substance that can only exist in other dimensions. But we are detecting it in our reality." Elena Rodriguez was studying the same readings in Chile. She called her colleague, Dr. Sarah Kim. "Sarah, the probe is finding exotic matter particles. What does that tell us?" "Elena, it tells us that our reality and another reality are touching each other in that area. The exotic matter is leaking through from the other dimension." "Sarah, does that mean the aliens are still there? Just in another dimension?" "Elena, that is possible. They might be in a parallel universe that exists in the same space as ours." Back at NASA, Lisa was getting more surprising data from the probe. "Commander, the cameras are detecting something unusual," Dr. Foster announced. "What kind of something?" "The probe's cameras are seeing light patterns that change depending on which type of camera we use. With normal light cameras, we see empty space. But with infrared cameras, we see shadows." Lisa stared at the screen. "Shadows of what?" "Commander, the shadows are the same size and shape as the alien ships that disappeared." Lisa felt confused. "Are you telling me the alien ships are still there, but we can only see their shadows?" "Commander, that appears to be correct. The ships exist in another dimension, but they are close enough to our dimension to cast shadows." Elena Rodriguez received this news and immediately understood what it meant. "Tom, the aliens did not leave. They shifted into a parallel dimension that overlaps with our space." "Elena, why would they do that?" "Tom, maybe they were hiding from us." Or maybe they were studying us from a place where we could not see them. Lisa decided to move the probe closer to get better readings. Probe control. Move to coordinates 127.3 by 44.7. I want detailed scans of the largest shadow. Copy. Mission command. Moving to new coordinates. As the probe moved closer, the gravitational readings became even stranger. Commander, space is definitely torn in this area, Dr. Foster reported. The probe's instruments show that two different realities are touching each other here. Can we communicate through the rift? Commander, we could try sending radio signals into the other dimension. But we do not know if the aliens would understand them. Elena Rodriguez had been thinking about the same thing. Tom, if we can prove that the aliens are in another dimension, it changes everything we know about physics and space travel. Elena, what do we do with information like that? Tom, we learn, we study, we try to understand how they did it. Because if humans could travel between dimensions, we could explore places that we never imagined. Lisa looked at all the data from the probe. Gravitational rifts, exotic matter, dimensional shadows. 3 weeks ago, she had been preparing for war with aliens. Now she was learning that reality was much more complex than anyone had believed. Dr. Foster, how long can we keep the probe in this area? Commander, the gravitational forces are strong, but the probe can stay for several more days. Good. I want to collect as much data as possible. This might be our only chance to understand dimensional travel. Lisa stared at the screen showing shadows of alien ships that existed in another reality. Somewhere in a parallel dimension, 547. Alien vessels were floating in space, invisible to human eyes but close enough to touch. 6 months had passed since the alien fleet vanished. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat in her office at the Deep Space Array in Chile, surrounded by stacks of papers and computer printouts. She had been working on a special project that kept her awake most nights. Tom, come look at this, Elena called to her assistant. Tom Bradley walked over to Elena's desk. He looked tired. For 6 months, he had been helping Elena study old data from telescopes around the world. What did you find now, Elena? Elena pointed to her computer screen. Tom, I have been looking at archived data from deep space telescopes. Data that goes back 50 years. Why are you looking at old data? Tom, I wanted to see if the gravitational signatures we detected during the alien visit had ever appeared before. Tom leaned closer to look at Elena's screen. Did you find anything? Elena smiled for the first time in months. Tom, I found something amazing. Look at this data from 1947. The screen showed gravitational readings from a telescope in California. The patterns looked familiar to Tom. Elena, these readings look exactly like what we recorded when the aliens disappeared. That is right, Tom. And look at this data from 1967. Elena changed the screen to show readings from a telescope in Australia. The gravitational signatures were identical. Tom, the same patterns appeared in 1991, recorded by a telescope in Russia. Tom sat down hard in his chair. Elena, are you saying that aliens have visited Earth before? Tom, I am saying that dimensional travelers have been coming to our reality for decades. Maybe longer. Elena opened another file on her computer. Tom, look at how long each visit lasted. Tom studied the data. Every visit lasted exactly 72 hours. Just like the recent alien fleet. That is right. Someone has been visiting our dimension regularly. They stay for exactly 3 days, then they return to their reality. Elena picked up her secure phone and called Commander Lisa Park at NASA. Commander Park, this is Dr. Rodriguez. I have made an important discovery about the alien visits. Dr. Rodriguez, what kind of discovery? Commander, the aliens have been visiting Earth for at least 50 years, maybe longer. They come to our reality every few decades, stay for 72 hours, then return to their dimension. There was silence on the phone for several seconds. Dr. Rodriguez, are you certain about this? Commander, I have data from telescopes in 6 different countries. The gravitational signatures are identical. These visitors follow the same pattern every time. Commander Park was quiet for a moment. Dr. Rodriguez, if this is true, it changes everything we thought we knew about the alien visit. Commander, it means they are not invaders. They are not explorers. They are researchers. They have been studying us for decades. Elena hung up the phone and turned to Tom. Tom, think about it. Why would interdimensional travelers visit Earth? Every 20 to 30 years? To watch how humanity develops? Exactly. They are studying our progress, our technology, our society. They are scientists, just like us. Tom looked confused. But Elena, why do they not make contact with us? Tom, imagine you are a scientist studying animals in the wild. Do you talk to the animals? Or do you watch them from a distance to see their natural behavior? You watch from a distance. That is what these visitors are doing. They are studying humanity in its natural state. Elena opened another file on her computer. This one showed a timeline of human technological development. Tom, look at the years when the dimensional visitors came to Earth. 1947, 1967, 1991, and now 2025. Tom studied the timeline. Elena, those are all important years in human history. That is right. 1947 was when humans first broke the sound barrier and began serious space research. 1967 was when we first landed on the moon. 1991 was when the Internet began connecting the world. And 2025? Tom, 2025 is when humanity first detected visitors from another dimension. We have reached a new level of scientific understanding. Elena stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the large radio telescope that had first detected the alien fleet. Tom, I think these visitors have been waiting for us to become advanced enough to detect them. What do you mean? Tom, in 1947, we could not see dimensional rifts. In 1967, we did not understand gravitational signatures. In 1991, we had no computers powerful enough to analyze interdimensional physics. Tom was beginning to understand. But in 2025, we have all of those things. Exactly. For the first time in human history, we were able to detect dimensional travelers and understand what they were doing. Elena sat back down at her computer and began typing. Tom, I am writing a report for the International Space Agency. Humanity needs to know that we are not alone in the multiverse. Elena, what does this mean for the future? Elena stopped typing and looked at Tom. Tom, it means we need to learn how to travel between dimensions ourselves. 3 days later, Elena's report reached every major government in space agency on Earth. The reaction was immediate and intense. At NASA headquarters, Commander Lisa Park was in a meeting with Director James Walsh and General Marcus Stone. Commander Park, is Dr. Rodriguez's research accurate? Director Walsh asked. Sir, we have verified her findings with our own archives. The gravitational signatures are identical across all recorded visits. General Stone looked at the report. So these aliens have been watching us for decades, and we never knew it. General, they are not aliens in the traditional sense. They are interdimensional beings. They might even be humans from a parallel Earth. Director Walsh stood up and walked to the window. Commander, what are you recommending? Sir, I recommend that we begin immediate research into dimensional travel. Technology. If these visitors can cross between realities, then humans should be able to do the same. General Stone agreed. Director, we need to understand this technology. It could revolutionize space travel and human exploration. Very well. Commander Park, you are in charge of Project Dimensional Gateway. Use any resources you need. Back in Chile, Elena was working with an international team of scientists. Researchers from 12 countries had joined her project to study interdimensional physics. "Alina, we have analyzed the exotic matter particles collected by the probe," said Dr. Sarah Kim. "We think we understand how dimensional rifts work." "What did you discover, Sarah?" "Alina, dimensional rifts are created by bending spacetime using gravitational fields. The exotic matter acts like a bridge between realities." Tom looked excited. "Sarah, does that mean humans could create our own dimensional rifts?" "Tom, theoretically yes. But we would need technology that is far beyond what we currently have." Elena studied the research data. "Sarah, how long do you think it would take to develop dimensional travel technology?" "Elena, based on what we learned from the visitors, maybe 20 years, maybe 30. Elena smiled. "Sarah, I think that is exactly when our dimensional visitors will return." "What do you mean?" "Sarah, they come back every 20 to 30 years to check on human progress. The next time they visit, we might be ready to communicate with them." Dr. Sarah Kim looked at the data from the probe mission. "Elena, do you think they want us to develop dimensional travel?" "Sarah, I think they have been waiting for us to become advanced enough to join them in exploring the multiverse." Elena walked back to her computer and opened a new file. She began typing a proposal for the world's first dimensional research program. "Tom, we are going to build humanity's first interdimensional research facility. We are going to learn how to travel between realities." "Elena, what will we find in other dimensions?" Elena stopped typing and looked out the window at the night sky. "Tom, we will find other versions of Earth, other versions of humanity. Maybe we will find civilizations that are thousands of years more advanced than us. Or maybe we will find civilizations that need our help." "Exactly, Tom. The multiverse is full of possibilities that we cannot even imagine." Elena returned to her typing. She was writing the proposal that would change the future of human exploration. For the first time since the alien fleet had vanished, she felt hopeful about the future. "Tom, in 20 years, when the dimensional visitors return, humanity will be ready to meet them as equals." Tom looked at Elena's computer screen. She was designing research programs, equipment lists, and international cooperation agreements. "Elena, do you really think we can learn to travel between dimensions?" Elena looked at Tom and smiled. "Tom, 6 months ago, we did not even know that other dimensions existed. Now we are planning to visit them. Humans have always been explorers. Now we have an entire multiverse to explore." Elena continued typing her proposal. Outside her window, the Deep Space Telescope pointed toward the stars, ready to detect the next group of interdimensional visitors who would come to check on humanity's progress.